Good afternoon, everyone. We come before you today to introduce a unique style of mobile cooking game for iOS and Android devices. Unlike other cooking games such as Cooking Mama, where you only cook and prepare the food, Cooking Dash, where 4 players are cooking at once, or Counterfight, where robbers try to steal your food, our intent is to create a fast-paced 2-player cooking battle with a pinch of sabotage. Allow us to introduce Breakfast Battle. In this competitive casual online PvP, 2 sous chefs go head-to-head in the best 2 out of 3 breakfast showdown. With all ingredients at their sides to choose from and a commanding executive chef barking orders, each sous-chef must prepare the best breakfast for the judges to consume. Sous-chefs can steal from or tamper with items from around the kitchen, or bluff the opposing sous-chef, making them return to their stations and wasting precious time. Beware of the sabotages and bluffs. They are consumed after being performed 3 times, cannot be backed out of once entered, and the bluff can only be used twice, so use your time wisely. Breakfast Battle is a third-person action RPG with 2-player online or player versus AI cooking battles. The player will begin on a main menu which has 3 different difficulty options and an online option. Each difficulty mode has a different time limit for cooking. Easy is 5 minutes, normal is 3 minutes, and insanity is 1 minute. Online 2-player will always be a 3-minute cooking time. There are 3 different types of sous chef to choose from before entering the kitchen, each with their own special technique. This gives the player the ability to perform actions at a quicker pace, and with each win, sous chefs can choose to upgrade one of these 3 abilities. When the sous chefs enter the kitchen, they have 60 ingredients at their disposal. Each player has 30 seconds before the round begins to choose 6 ingredients and return to their stations. The ingredients chosen will be listed on the right-hand side of the screen throughout that round, and the opposing player's list will be on the left-hand side of the screen. On the top middle of the screen will be the timer that counts down from a set number of minutes. Within this time, the sous chefs must cook their meals and take the opportunity to sabotage the opposing sous chefs when the executive chef commands, by tapping buttons or areas on the screen. Each sous chef is only allowed 3 sabotages within all rounds, by stealing ingredients from or adding ingredients to the opposing sous chef's dish, or tampering with cooking equipment. When stealing, the player can steal an ingredient from the opposing chef's inventory. However, if caught, the ingredient will go back to the chef from which it came. When adding ingredients, there is a set list of 5 to choose from, such as hot sauce or salt. The chef can tamper by turning off burners, fryers, or dropping utensils on the ground, forcing the opposing chef to wash it. There will be a button that appears when an opposing sous chef leaves their station in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen labeled Sabotage. When this appears, the player can press this button and it will allow them to choose a sabotage type. A message will be randomly sent to the opposing chef, giving them the opportunity to catch the saboteur in the act. The player is also able to bluff instead of performing a sabotage, which sends a message automatically to the opposing player telling them to return to their stations. Bluffing can only be performed twice in 1 round. If caught sabotaging, the saboteur will have to suffer a penalty for a certain amount of time. The chef who caught the saboteur will have a circle pop up on their screen, which changes from green to yellow to red in 3 seconds. They are prompted to swipe the screen to the left or right over the circle. If they swipe when the circle is green, they give a penalty of 10 seconds. If they swipe when yellow, it's a penalty of 7 seconds. If they swipe when red, it's a penalty of 5 seconds. If they miss the circle entirely, then the opposing chef only receives a 3-second penalty. There will be a button in the lower left-hand corner of the screen labeled Combine. When the executive chef gives the command to go mix, cut, or blend ingredients, the player will press the Combine button to travel to the butcher block to perform these actions. To mix or stir, the player will swipe the screen in a circular motion. If your sous chef has a high mixing ability, it will take less circular swipes to complete the process. To cut ingredients, the player must swipe the screen up and down on the food item. A chef with a high chopping ability can perform this quicker. To blend ingredients, the player will tap the screen and hold until well blended. With a high blending ability, the player can perform this quicker. After these actions, the sous chef travels back to their cooking station. When the chefs are finished cooking their meals, they need to plate their dish in a presentable fashion to serve. If this is not presented properly, the chef can lose points toward the presentation of their dish. If a chef was sabotaged, that chef would also lose points. The chef ending with the lowest score gets a heart taken away. Each chef has 2. When both hearts are consumed, that chef loses the battle. When a chef wins a battle, they will be placed in a ranking system starting at bronze level and finishing at gold level. The food will be judged based on the ingredients placed in the dish and presentation. May the best chef win. Previously, we came to you with the idea of a breakfast brawl, where the chefs could trade items for other items or attack the other chef if caught sabotaging. The overall design is the same, but with a few mechanical differences. Instead of the player controlling one chef, they are now sending commands through an executive chef and performing actions with a sous chef. This replaced trading, which took up valuable time from each chef during their battle. Instead of attacking the player, we decided to add bluffing. We included this mechanic to trick the other player into coming back to their station, thinking that there is a sabotage happening when there's not. When the chef returns, they realize that they have lost time due to the bluff. We attempted to add multiple sous chefs to command, but found that it was more difficult to sabotage. We also thought of not allowing the player to bluff twice in a row. However, the opposing chef could in turn predict the next sabotage. The players will now have a chef who commands and one who performs actions instead of trading items. They can still perform an action to penalize the player if caught in a sabotage. However, they can now bluff instead of being able to attack. We feel these new mechanics have added more interaction for the player along with greater variety. Thank you for listening.